welcome back to Project Zomboid. Today we're starting off exactly where we left off last time, in this sort of safe room I made quickly just so I could get some sleep. As you've probably already been hearing, we are completely surrounded. I don't know exactly how many of them are outside, but it's safe to assume it's quite a few, judging just from the amount of sounds I can hear. Under normal circumstances, I just run out and run away. Unfortunately for me, these alternates are a lot smarter and faster than the usual zombies. While my safe room does have some items for me, including some food and not much else actually, just a bit of canned food here, I knew I couldn't stay here forever. After all, considering I'm using Restless Zombies fixed, the chances of the alternates actually going away was very low. By now I realized my only actual option was going to be to make a run for it. Hoping that using my alt sprint I would actually be faster than them, I decided to unbarricade the door. Through sheer luck, I managed to dodge one of their attacks instead of getting stun locked, only to find out there were even more waiting outside, one of which even makes me trip. Thankfully, they miss me. While bleeding, I run back to my compound. I don't know if they're still chasing me, so I don't stop running until I'm close enough to my safe room. After going up that sheet rope, I immediately feel much safer. Almost like an air of relief surrounds me. The alternate's ability to open doors makes it so that I absolutely only feel safe in here. Even though my food stock is kind of running out and I'll need to get out there soon again, for the time being I'm relatively safe. Since I figured it would be coming here soon, I decided to destroy the staircase. This way I could make sure absolutely none of them got up here. At least for now, I felt completely safe. I knew that even though they could open doors and now climb over walls, the alternates couldn't make their way up here. That feeling of safety is quickly ripped away from me as soon as I realize this isn't a schizophrenic hallucination. Somehow it got up here. It got into the only place where I felt safe. I decided to double check just to make sure there weren't any others up here. I didn't even know where they could be coming from, considering I thought I had blocked everything off. As far as I was aware, they couldn't go up these ropes, so they had to be coming in from somewhere else. While this corpse had some pretty good loot, it did come with the unfortunate side effect of throwing me into absolute paranoia. I now officially had no clue of what I could trust. The one place where I had felt safe for pretty much the entire series had just been compromised. While I still had my safe room and I assumed it was still safe in there, I had no idea anymore. As far as I was aware, they could get in just about anywhere now. While trying to look for possible access points outside, I heard some more noises coming from inside the building. At least now I had an idea of where they were coming from. Thankfully I had the keys to this place and I could lock it. However, locking a door was pretty much just the first line of defense. I decided to block it off with a table as well, just for a little bit of extra safety. For now, I still couldn't even tell how they were getting up to the roof in the first place. My character at the moment was too tired to actually get into combat effectively, so I decided my best option was just to take some time to read some skill books and try to fix my sleep schedule. Remember how I thought locking that door and blocking it off would keep me safe? Turns out I was wrong. They're still getting in somehow. Through somewhere. In fact, there's quite a few of them up here now. It almost seems like they've actually figured out where I've been hiding all this time. Going outside in the darkness event isn't usually a good idea, especially now that I know that the roof is actually compromised. I still don't know, however, how they're getting up. The problem with the darkness events now is that it's pretty much impossible to see anything. Now that the power is out, I pretty much have to walk around in complete darkness if I don't want to waste my flashlight's battery. As soon as the darkness event ended, I decided I would try and figure out how the alternates were getting up here. Quickly enough, I found out that they were using this window here. Hopefully, they would now at least not pathfind their way up here. The next day, I decided I would go back to town. At this point, I was running very low on food, and I desperately had to get some more cans to add to my collection. Until this point, I had been mostly eating perishable foods, but now that the power was out and my fridge wasn't running anymore, it had pretty much all gone rotten. The same was true for most food around the map. Almost everything was rotten if it was perishable. This isn't too big of a problem though, as non-perishable food tends to spawn a lot more than actually perishable food. For some reason, the town itself was very empty, at least here. I quite quickly realized that something was wrong. The last time the alternates had left me pretty much alone, it was almost like they were trying to lure me out. I quickly stopped by my safe room that I had used to sleep once. I left my food here, which was quite stupid in hindsight, but at least it was here now, and decided to take it back with me. I wasn't alone though. After noticing on my map that there was a large retail store over here, I decided to go check it out to try and find out what it might be. The back door was locked, which meant that I had to go up to the front. At this point, I still had no idea what this was or if there were any alternates inside, but the coast seemed clear enough. After making my way to the front and looking in through the window, I quickly realized what I found. Entering this small supermarket felt like entering a save room in a horror game. Finally, I knew that I would have enough food to last me for a very long time. I quickly marked the location down on my map. I knew I wasn't going to be able to take everything back with me in one trip. Either I was extremely lucky or I was being sent a message here, as pretty much no alternates interrupted me as I took all the food from this store. In fact, I was able to take so much that I considered going back here later and trying to set up a sort of safe house using those back rooms. For the time being, however, I just took what I could and tried to appreciate the feeling of safety in this supermarket. After an easy trip back, I went back up into my safe area. I now had so much food that I decided to dedicate an entire shelf to it, which ended up not even being enough. Now that I find myself in what I believe to be a safe room, with food to last me for months and a lot of literature to keep me entertained, I think I'll finish the episode here. But that's not to say I'm done exploring Bedford Falls. Even though I have the necessary items to survive for quite a long time here, I don't know what the alternates are planning. They've proven time and time again that they're smarter than you might think. For the time being though, I think I'll leave it off here.